Hey everyone, Kim here with Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for another Mystery Mystic Musings reading. We are now doing part 3, which is continuing the Tarot and Oracle reading that we started on Allahnia Lenoir's case in part 2. Please be sure to check out parts 1 and 2. Part 1 is the opening Oracle reading. Part 2 is the beginning part of this Tarot and Oracle reading that we are going and proceeding on with here. And yeah, she has been missing since July 30th, and that is just wild. I'm recording this as of August 25th, 2022. So yeah, our family is anxious for her answers. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we're now moving on to part 3 of the detailed Tarot and Oracle reading. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to check out part 1, the opening Oracle reading, part 2, which is the first part to this Tarot and Oracle reading we're doing. I've just simply moved all the cards that jumped during our part 2, I pushed them off to the side. I haven't even reshuffled them back into the deck. And we're going to keep going. I have about 5 more questions to ask. And then, we'll go from there. We'll see if we need to do a part 4, we'll see. So I just wanted to remind you, these came up in part 2, these 2 cards. It says argument or fight is a strong factor, and contamination of DNA evidence may be influencing this case. And this is alarming because, yeah, this is just alarming in any case, but especially in a case where someone has disappeared. And yeah, so okay, let us move on to the next question. Got all my decks. So the renter, I'm gonna look at his picture. Hold on, let me pull it up on my screen here. Starts with a D. And one of the cards, or there was a couple of cards that came up with physical traits like black hair in part 2 and medium length hair. It could be that there is maybe a female accomplice, but I don't know. So Spirit, and it could be just somebody who is known, who knows of the situation. It could be a female, but I don't feel like a female is directly involved in what happened. I could be wrong, but that's just me. Let me ask this. This is about the guy who I guess that's his apartment. Spirit, does he know anything? Yes or no? Card, please. 2 of Pentacles. To the question of, does the renter know of anything? What was the nature of his connection to Allahnia? Ouch. Okay. Bumping my tripod and carrying on. Okay. Ace of Wands. There's definitely something sexual. Some kind of flirtation. Queen of Wands. This could be very much desiring her, having to kind of juggle how he feels and how, this could be coins related. It could be related to money, having to juggle, I guess, in order to be able to see her, to be able to do what he wants. So You know, there's something with the wands. Out of the tarot, it is the one suit that really can represent some sort of sexual kind of nature, sexual kind of relationship. Interlude, timing, pause, factor, retaliation, punish, payback, or revenge. Okay, interesting. Spirit, is there anything else to share about this person who rents the apartment, who she was last seen missing? Okay. 2 or more, I get a shudder. Okay. 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 In terms of maybe him having anything to do with it, or does he, you know what may have happened? We got the 2 of Pentacles. I'm like trying to see if we can get any more clues as to, does he have anything to do with it? I would say very much perhaps. And the reason being is we got missing person. So this could be that he is responsible or knows of what may have happened to her, or the last known person to know of what happened to Allahnia, this person. So he rents the apartment. There's some sort of juggling of an offer related to money as it relates to some sort of sexual proposal. There was maybe a pause or an interlude in something like an argument or a fight. Argument or fight is a strong factor. That came up in parts 1 and 2 of this reading, so check those readings out so you'll know what I'm talking about. But there's a pause. There was some sort of pause between, and there was a progression of knowing her. By the way, with this Ace of Wands to the Queen of Wands, is telling me there was a progression of knowing Allahnia. So that could be why she felt safe to be there. Interlude, though, we got 2 or more involved. So he is aware of someone else being involved, or 2 others being involved, or 2 people being involved. But this person who rents the apartment definitely knows something and could very well be involved with her disappearance. Retaliation, punish, payback, revenge, for what? You know, like, what could he possibly be being vengeful about? Like, in this argument, did she say something? Did she get in his face about something and he snapped? He wanted to punish, retaliate, payback. Somebody wanted payback. He knows about someone wanting payback. I don't know. Definitely, I'm just going to say this. I know, we don't want to go around accusing people, but the energy surrounding this guy is alarming. I'll just say that. It could be that he just maybe has done other things in his past, and that's what I'm picking up on. Maybe he's completely innocent in what he's saying. He's saying that she left, I guess, I don't know, in the morning or in the night, and she just left. He doesn't know exactly where she went. Interestingly enough, you all, her friend, you gotta check out her friend's Instagram, and I'm not gonna name any names, but if you know the case and you've been following it, her friend that went with her to the apartment complex had put out her version of events. And she's indicated, and she seems to feel that other people would corroborate this, but Allahnia didn't have an ID card, like, a state-issued ID. She didn't have a credit card or something that she could set up her own Uber. So it was very important that they had arranged for her, Allahnia, to have a ride from Uber before this friend, her girlfriend, left. So that was something that she really harped on. And I suppose that her relatives could easily vouch or say, no, that's not true, or yes, that's true. They could say or whatever. But if that's the case, that also ties back into my reading for part 1. Part 1, I said, when I stare into her face and I look into her eyes, I feel like there's this innocence about her. And I don't know what that is. And please check out part 1. I've recorded that like maybe a week ago. And she's been missing since July 30th, by the way. I'm recording this part 3. Part 2 and part 3 is recorded as of August 25th, 2022, in case you're watching it later. So, yeah. That innocence, if it's true that she didn't have an ID, she's 24 years old and she doesn't have a credit card or a debit card or some sort of card to link up to her Uber account or an Uber account, that is that innocence I'm picking up on. And I found that interesting. Calling in the storm. Was he the one that kicked up all the dust, the arguments, was he the one? Was he the catalyst for everything that happened that night? Because something happened. Okay. All right, let's now ask about this other gentleman. His friend, who I guess was there that night, and then he claims he left for 4 hours. Like, I guess, I don't know, maybe like 4 in the morning. I don't know when he left, but he left, and then he came back like maybe later in the morning, like 8 or 9, and Allahnia wasn't there. That's what allegedly he's said. I don't know that to be for fact, but that's what is being said that he said. All right, so let's ask about him, Spirit. Let me see. Did he harm her? Did he have any knowledge of what may have happened to her? Judgment. Yes. He has knowledge. He knows. He's aware. And he will pay judgment. He will have to atone for what he knows and what he has maybe possibly been involved with. If he's watching this video, he knows what I'm talking about. This card, interesting, has a keyword of mercy. And it also has the keyword yes. It has mercy. Did he have mercy? Did someone have mercy on him, or did he have mercy on someone? Nature of his connection with Allahnia. Page of Swords. Let's see if anything comes up. Cell phone. Mental health. He's the one that's possibly going to break. Poison. Okay. If he knows anything, Oh, God, I got sick. Oh, okay. I don't know why. Cell phone. There's some information, vital information in his cell phone. Maybe communicating with someone, talking about this matter. Maybe someone's confided in him over the cell phone, some sort of cell phone pings, cell phone records. So a way to track down some information. Cell phone is going to, his cell phone in particular, but cell phone in general could be an important factor or clue to break the case, but his especially has some information. Page of Swords, studying the situation, kind of new to this with this page. There may be new to her, like maybe it was newer to him of what was going on this night. He could very well be the 2 or more involved. And I'm going to tell you why. We got mental health. His mental health is struggling, or he played on the fact that someone could have been confined, tortured, brutalized, He knows of something. It may not even be something necessarily just with Allahnia. It could be somebody else. He is going to potentially break. This is not going to be good for his mental health. This whole situation is not good for it. It could be just simply that he just knows of what really happened. He has an intimate knowledge. I thought that. But then I got poison. Then I got today, present, now, in the moment. Not quite sure what that means yet. But this is what kind of caught me off guard and kind of made me ill. Trash. Discarding, throwing out. So was he doing that? And did he do that? Is okay, maybe today is like he did this, you know, the next day, today. Or it can mean today he was a part of it. Day one, present. Oh my God, look at the keyword, present. He was present. Oh my God. This is all allegedly, you all. I'm just going to say that. It's all alleged. All right, let's move on to the next questions. And before we do, I do want to see if anything comes up for him from this deck. Let me look at his picture again. Oops. Forgetting oneself. Whereas this person feels like he either snapped or he's just prone and known and has the propensity to do these things. If he could do it now, he can do it again. Calling in the storm. Storms can come and go, but they come and go. That's the nature of a storm. This person's different. Forgetting oneself. Forgetting oneself. He forgot who he was. He lost his sense of humanity with this situation. And that is why he particular has to atone. The poison could be he was just as poisonous to the situation as this person. Or it could literally mean some sort of something toxic to the body. That's why I also felt nauseous. Something toxic to the body. And not even just something consumed. Something, oh God, something toxic, harmful to even the outside part of ourselves. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. I'm just going to check off which ones I've asked. Okay. We're going to now just ask about any important clues or on where she may be at or what could crack the case. Okay. I hate when those distance ones comes out because it's like, Lord knows what it could be. I don't think she's that far. I mean, we're going to see if she's near or not. We're looking spirit for important clues on where she could be. Or important clues about maybe the person's involved. Of course. Some of these things are just like what? Any other clues? That's what I was sensing. This card was, I gotta chill, local. I don't sense that she's very far. We could look up what the distance is. I don't know if I'm called to use that card. Okay. We're just gonna stop here for a moment. I'm gonna set these up here. 500 to 1,000 kilometers. Is there any other decks I want to use? No, I don't think so. Any important clues on where she may be? or about the persons involved. Like maybe where they are from, 500 to 1,000 kilometers, where they're originally from. Maybe that is also a further clue into who is directly involved and who has a hand in this. This could mean that, I suppose, if people will go down the track that maybe she's been trafficked, this could be how far she's been trafficked, and she's gone due east. But I sense that this could be speaking to, maybe where this person is from, one of the people who are involved, one of this two or more. We have 160 to 200 kilometers, perhaps just outside the city limits or outside the area, outside of a cityscape, outside the greater Atlanta area, is where she could be located, in a natural area. The reason I say that is you would have to watch part 2 of the Tarot and Oracle reading. There were some things that mention about, there were some cards about deserted area, rural, beach, so where water, water could be involved, some element of water. We have this, again, boat, body of water. So any important evidence surrounding her disappearance, surrounding her case, could be, discarded this way. It could be that she's taken this way. Mental illness. This could be that they want to portray that she is unstable, that she's stressed out, that she was having a breakdown and ran off. Somebody is maybe going to be saying that to the police, or saying that outwardly. Or there could be this could be a theme that you hear as this case starts to unfold, this investigation. You may start to hear that somebody's mental health, or is somebody's experienced mental illness, someone who's involved. It could be the victim, or it could be someone else entirely, someone who's closely involved. It says black hair color. Again, part 2 talks about black hair color, dark hair color. It could be a black braid. It could be black cornrows, black dreadlocks, black hair, thick afro, black hair color. Straight hair, I suppose. I don't know. Black in color. This also affirms, when you get a hair color card, that this is another human responsible for her disappearance. This isn't, I suppose you could look at this and say that the important clue here is that, maybe she had a breakdown and she ran off. I suppose it's really difficult to probably track her down if she doesn't have an ID, or a card that she could use where they could track her last known purchases and things. So that could make things a lot more difficult. But we've got unsolved. I don't know if this is speaking to this case is going to go unsolved, or if this is more so about there's some elements that are unsolved at this point. Okay. I'm praying that this does not turn into a cold case. This doesn't necessarily mean it will. It just means that at this point, we are dealing with something where it's unsolved, and I'm not sure if law enforcement's doing enough to really crack down on this case. I heard the family has hired a PI, which is good, to help with the investigation, to see where she may have gone or what happened. Okay. Okay, so let's ask this. What's next for the investigation? And, when will we hear something? What's next for the investigation? And when may we hear something? Okay, the Star in reverse and Spirit. When's the next major development for this case? Oh. Let's see if we get any other timing cards. I don't know if, let me go back to her picture. I don't know if, Oh, you know what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say. Next development, Spirit. What's next? Oh, now I know what I was going to say. I'm going to reshuffle. If this deck has timing cards, I don't think it does. But I do have decks with timing. So we got the Star and the Death Rebirth card. This is kind of interesting. So I'm just going to do this. Shuffle. Because what we're looking for, Spirit, is what's next for the search and investigation and when we're going to get some answers. I'm going to reshuffle. Call to reshuffle. Betrayal. Shuffle. It does have to break it up and shuffle multiple times. Oh, God, chill. Whew. Justice. Okay. Okay. Justice. Now, we're going to talk about what justice means in just a moment, because sometimes justice doesn't come in the way we think it does. Justice could be in the form of just answers being received. It could be that someone does go to jail for a long time. It could mean someone dies. Hate to say it, but yeah. So that's what I'm going to say about that. And one other thing, before we move on from location, is there anything else to share about that? Oh, about location, anything to share about where Allahnia may be or where an important clue may be. I'll be frank, I do believe that, nature? I do believe that these parties know something and they're not sharing and spilling. Look at that. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Nature, big city. So my son lives in Atlanta, and he describes it to me where it's like it's a big city, but it's beautiful natural surroundings just outside of it. It just looks so lush and green in Atlanta. I got to go visit him one of these days very soon. However, big city limits. Maybe the suspects are in the big city, took her out to a nature preserve or nature area, just inside or just outside, local. Okay. 160 kilometers to 200 kilometers could speak to somebody who, one of the parties, the other party, their distance from where they come from originally, or it could speak to them first taking her here, then taking her there, or taking evidence here, evidence there. That's what I'm picking up. Something told me to shuffle this deck, and I'm glad I did before we moved on. Now, because we're rounding up to 30 minutes. We got the Star in reverse. At first, this is going to appear like this is a hopeless situation, beyond hope. When you see the Star is like somebody who needed medical attention who did not receive it. As a result, that we learn that someone transitions. There could be not just her, and I pray and hope that she's alive and well. However, if we're talking about her transitioning, we have her, transition, but it could be somebody else that's involved, near and dear, that we later hear about. In terms of time frames, I was hoping one of these decks would give us a time period, and we got March over here. March could represent either when an important development happens in the case or trial, if there is a trial. It also could represent one of the parties having March in their birthday or something significant pertaining to her as it relates to March. So that could be what that means. However, in terms of timing, the Star is associated, well, let me first tell you this. The Death Rebirth card is associated with the time period of October 21st to November 20th. So this could be, not that we hear that she's transition during this time, or that she's moved on or moved from one state of being to the next. It could be that this is when the next major development happens during this time period, and the fact that someone is transitioning or will transition. The star is about losing hope, losing faith that something's going to happen, that this feels like a hopeless situation. Someone who, there's an element of strong betrayal. I felt that in the beginning with the part 1, the opening oracle reading. There's a strong sense of betrayal. What else do we have here? We have male suspect and accomplice. Now it could just be a male suspect who is an accomplice, or a male suspect and an accomplice. Okay, look, this is affirming of a helper, someone helping the main perpetrator. Justice will prevail, but remember, justice is, Lady Justice is a little, she does what she feels is best, and we have really no control over those outcomes. That doesn't mean that we don't keep searching. We do need to keep searching for answers. And I sense that in time we will get it. Spirit is just not really revealing when, and I'm going to have to respect that. This could also perhaps, there is a small glimmer of hope that maybe she's still with us, and that's why things have not fleshed out yet, that where I'm able to pick up when things are going to unfold and happen. I just can generally speak. The star represents the time period of January 21st to February 20th. So it could be that when all felt lost and hopeless, things start to turn around, And so we've got black magic. There's some dark elements, some dark energies we're going to hear about that in this case. Not necessarily that she was engaging in dark magic or black magic, but that others who may be involved may engage in that. There could just be rumors of this that just seems to take off, or it could just simply mean that there is some dark elements to this case, some dark sickening elements. And I'm not saying dark magic or black magic is sickening. I'm just saying if it's not that, then it could be something dark and sinister and sickening. Someone has been destroying evidence. We got fire, or something to hear about fire being involved, and videos. There could be video that has captured her last moments, or video on somebody's social media or somebody's phone. We talked about cell phone here. Somebody's phone. It could be video of somebody talking about what happened after the fact. It doesn't necessarily mean it's video of her, or it could be. It could be. An FBI, CIA. Could be that the FBI should step in, needs to step in, but doesn't. Or it could mean that they do. It could mean that sometimes this card, rarely, but sometimes it can mean that there's some law enforcement involvement in terms of nefarious things, but more often than not, it's just saying that it's going to take careful investigation. And if this case is to truly get the justice it deserves, it needs more intervention from law enforcement, is what I'm picking up on here. I think I've covered all the cards that I wanted to. I'm going to take a picture of these afterwards, but I'm just going to ask, clearly speaking, Spirit, will she be found? Okay. Knight of Wands says yes. And we're going to, it could be the timing of weeks. More, if you want more on timing, I can certainly do that. Wands represents the timing of weeks. Knight of Wands would be like 12 weeks or so. Spring. Okay. So it represents the season of spring. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to find out what happened to her then, or it could just simply mean timing of weeks. But this is a card that affirms that at some point in the future, we're going to get some answers. We're going to get closer to justice, closer to the truth is what I'm picking up on here. Wow. I don't know if there's anything else for me to really tap into at this point. I want to thank you all so much for watching me do these readings. I really appreciate you all for hanging in there with me, for subscribing. Wow, you guys have really shown me some love, shown the channel love, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking the video. If you know of cases you want me to explore in the future, just drop a comment or fill out my little handy dandy form. Let's pray for Allahnia. Let's pray for her family, for their strength as they deal with this difficult situation of trying to find her, trying to work with law enforcement, not sure of who to trust in this situation. And just all they want is just for their babes to come home. So let's just hold them near to our hearts and keep the faith that answers will be revealed, that she will be found. All right, you guys, I love you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.